Hello everyone and good night to everyone. As in my location, it is night and I hope everyone is doing well. So today I'm going to share my sharing experience in making IoT urban farming project as a makers. All right, so let's begin. Let's begin with the first topic. What is urban farming? It's in modern days we have been know about the smart farming or the vertical farming or any type of farmings we have seen in the world. So let's be narrowed down into the urban farming section. So what exactly is urban farming? So we just simply go to the terms that is coined by the Purdue University. Urban farming is a practice of raising food in urban or suburban area alongside the hustle and bustle of city life. So basically, let me explain it in a layman term to everyone that urban farming is literally a farming system that is conceived to be meant for urban living settlement needs, and it can be accessible for the urban settlements or the any specific location without needing complexity of the logistic. You just simply go to the farm and you pick and plug the food at there. So let's see the comparison here is, let's see the comparison between the traditional farming and urban farming in the picture. As you can see here is the traditional farming is using a lot of space. You can see there might be only one type of crop for this such space compared to urban farming. You can see the space utilization is small, but you can have multiple type of the plant or the vegetable or the fruits. And the scenario also tells the difference. You can see the traditional farming here is made or deployed at the place whereby it's like at a village or at any place that is less populated. While in urban farming picture, you can see is there's a flat apartment and then you have a house, and we can say that the farm is being deployed at a small park, at a small park within the community area. So let's go proceed with the next section. Okay. So we're going to see the differences or the comparison between the urban farming and traditional farming. The first is the space usage. You can see that the urban farming is space friendly. So meaning that you can literally build a farm in any small space or even at your home or your room. While comparing to traditional farming is you need a large area of farming. We go to the resource usage, we go to the water. Okay, so the water usage in urban farming is particularly low. This is due to the type of the urban farming concept that have been adapted compared to the traditional farming is we just the way we plant the vegetable and fruits is absolutely different. In urban farming, you can do the hydroponics, you can do the aquaponics, or you can even do the vertical farming, whereby the concept itself or the working architecture is using much more less resources compared to the traditional one. And then we see the emissions. The emissions part is a bit I will try my best to simplify it, but we can say that it's more to waste management or waste production, because when we talk about farming or poultry or any type of activities, the waste production is something that we need to concern. But because of the urban farming style concept is we want to maximize the waste that is produced come back to the cycle. Let's say like the extra vegetable or the broken vegetables or any kind of waste that is happened or made, we can recycle it back to be used for other purposes, you know, like making a compost or making any type of alternative for the planting medium. In the term of food miles, this food miles is the logistic delivery. So because of urban farming is planned in the urban place or urban area, it's literally you don't really need a logistic method because you can just simply come down from your house and go to the farm and pick and pluck, or you just you know, if like there's a seller or the owner of the farm, you can just directly buy from them, which is in term of the price and so on will be much more less compared to the traditional farming that is complicated, that has a massive logistic system. We go to the packaging, you know, because of the urban farming concept is more to the green features, or we say like a green advantage point. Like, you know, the way we packaging the vegetable is very, very eco-friendly, and this make the urban farming to produce much more less in terms of non-biodegradable waste. While compared to the traditional farming, because we need a lot of extensive packaging at here, so the waste production is much more higher for the packaging part. Because of the centralization system, because of urban farming concept is for community to by community to community, the farming system is depend on the people or the community itself. Let's say that there's in a city, there's a 3 kind of urban farm is happen, but none of them are synchronized or working to each other and being independent. So about the centralization is matter on the organization itself, but by general terms is urban farming or the urban farm aren't same as the traditional one. So we go to the next section, the example of urban farming concept. This is a 3 type of urban farming or the urban farming types that is typically deployed or happen in most of the world. You know, I'm pretty sure outside Malaysia, you know, there's a lot of urban farm that adapting hydroponic style farming or vertical farming or aquaponic farming. The aquaponic one is an interesting farming style method because it can have 2 types of food resources. The first one is the vegetable and the second one is the fisheries. So this is something that is interesting for us to know, whereby we utilize the water for fisheries, and the fisheries will help the fertilization of the plant. So we already know about the smart farming. Smart farming is about using the drone and etc. Right? We using the technology to help the large scale farm to automate itself. We have robots to help them to trim the plant or to watering them or doing the automation process and so on. But let's narrow down to the urban farming concept. How can we as a maker can support the urban farming to be smarter? You know, in a simple term, how can we make an urban farm to be a smart farming version of itself? Just a simple answer actually. We can just simply reach out to any community or any urban farm nearby. We get an input from those farmers or those those farm community on their problems that they facing right now. I give you a simple example, maybe about the sustainability or the waste management, or just simply how can we make a automatic watering system for the plant is also simple and ideally good enough to get started. In in simple words, just any ideas can greatly help them to accelerate and adapt. So I'm going to share about my smart farming, my urban smart farming project, which is I currently undergoing and working together with PASARKITA. PASARKITA is a smart agriculture company that currently helping the low income urban earner to have their own farm and sell it through their platform. And PASARKITA also is working on the smart agriculture method. In this case, PASARKITA and me are currently doing the urban farming. Uh, what we so called is an urban farm system at the Medini Edible Park Johor. I will going to tell you the summary of this project. This project is really dedicated for urban farm niche. The aim is to develop a sustainable farming system that require less maintenance with sustainable concept both in technology and farming itself. This project has been started since November 2021 and our project site is at Medini Edible Park, Johor, Malaysia, which is near with the Singapore borders and located at the Johor Bahru district by specifically. So this project is heavily endorsed and recommended by our organization supporter, CRES, which is a non-profit Malaysia organization that's supporting electrical and electronic industry. And we also have our IoT middleware supporter, which is Favorite. Favorite is an IoT platform locally made in Malaysia, or simply we say a Malaysian version of ThinkSpeed. So I have been working closely with these three entities, and of course my PASARKITA as our partner, whereby they own and operated Medini Edible Park, which is an urban farm in Johor that has a multiple crops and multiple type of plants that is farmed in kind of urban farming style. Okay, I think I should how do I erase this how do I erase this a drawing that suddenly appeared. Give me a few moments.
Is that? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So let's start. Let's get back to it. Okay. So as I said that I'm currently doing two type of project under the same partner, which is PASARKITA. The first one is urban smart multi-crop farming, whereby we are this is a future plan of after the completion of my second project, which is home user sustainable farming kit, where the urban smart multi-crop farming style is we create a fully end-to-end solution for the community farm to have their own automated farming system with a less maintenance yearly, and it is a sustainable whereby the device itself able to run in a long term, at least 5 years ahead. So I'm going to tell and sharing with everyone the current project that I'm currently undergoing, which is home user sustainable farming kit, or simply known as ready to go smart farming kit. This project is simply meant for the home users, or just individual types of farming system. Those who are look to have a farm but don't really have a time to do other farming or don't simply have other commitments but want to have their own farms. So we provide them a simple solution, a farming system that can be independent and require little to no human interaction. So simply the project is really simple. I'm actually using a smart, it's just a simple plant pot, or maybe some of you know about the hydropod. So I'm doing the hydropod and I integrate it with the technology features whereby we put a few sensors to measure certain parameters. In this case, I'm currently measuring the water level and the soil moisture. The soil moisture is to measure the plant moisture, and the water level is simply to observe the water tank within the hydropod. I'm using the hydropod as a plant pot because hydropod has features that unlike the traditional pot, whereby the hydropod they actually can watering itself using some sort of mechanical mechanism at there. So the device itself, the sensor will connect it to ESP8266, which is the current microcontroller that I'm currently using for this project. At first, the first plan is to use Arduino, but since we are going to make it as an IoT device, so I replace it with the ESP8266. And by term of power consumption, we apply the RTOS, the deep sleep configuration to conserve the battery life. Okay, so this device will connect it to our home internet, our home router or any available internet hotspot within our home area. And from there, the data that is read from the sensor will be pushed to the IoT platform, which is our favorite. Favorite is our cloud platform or the IoT middleware. Within the favorite itself, we have configured the notification system, the notification engine, and also we made our own customized mobile apps for user. So the user can observe their plant from a distance without needing to come back to their home and to watch their plant grow. So for the mobile apps, I'm using a simple React Native framework to develop the apps and simply get the data using the get method from the favorite platform. For the dashboard part, also they can see through the computer, whereby there's a favorite dashboard ID at there, and the user can simply watch the graph or the statistic of their plant growth. This is a simple project that I'm currently undergoing. And yes, it might sound simple to certain people, but when we come to solve the problems of somebody else, it would mean a great impact to be happen at that. So this is my project activity. So this is the media gallery that I want to show to everyone. In this media I went to the Medini Edible Park, where I'm going to learn and experiencing myself about how the urban farming works. I even become a farmer of myself. I'm going to the fields and interacting with the farmers at there, and even with the PASARKITA CEO, which is Mr. Haniza. Mr. Haniza is the owner or the chief executive officer of the PASARKITA companies. And he's the one who operating this Medini Edible Park. I was given an opportunity to have a visit at there and doing those farming activities. As you can see, this is a what's so-called a combination of urban farming and traditional farming style. You can see we do the traditional farming for a few type of crops and then go to the urban farming style for a few type of crops. This is a multiple crop farming style in general terms. So I did the experiencing how the farmer operating and planting the plants at here. And then I did also experiencing about plant transferring from seed to sapling, whereby we do AB solution mixture. We transfer the seed that has growth into sapling and then put it under the sun and so on. I also did an opportunity to gather a data to get myself about how the urban farming actually works in here. So I did some environmental IoT system here to watch and observe how can we actually increase the productivity or optimizing the manpower for maintaining this urban farm. So before we end our meeting and go into Q&A session, this is a simple some tips from me to begin about urban farming projects. Just a simple step, just start small and you think big. Just solve the simple problem and later you go deep down and solve the complex problem. Sometimes a small problem itself can have a great impact once we have able to solve it. Just know what you are doing about this project, because sometimes we as a technical people, we don't really know about agriculture matter. Then we should go to the farmers, learn from them, or learn from any subject matter expert in the area that we are going to do. For this case, for urban farming, just simply go to the community farm owner or just go to any traditional farmer itself can help you to get an input how the agriculture or their industry is work. So that's it from me. And if anyone have a question or would love to get in contact with me personally, just simply email me on this email display in the slide, or simply scan the QR code. This QR code will redirect you to my LinkedIn account. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Simon, for the whole sharing. Any questions from the audience? I just wondering that, okay. So Danny, you can just turn on your microphone. It's good.
Oh yeah, thank you. Can I ask directly or? Okay, I want to ask. Yeah, a nice presentation. So I just wonder, in your project, yeah, you said that you what is it? Make it from 2021, right?
Yes.
So how you control? I mean the data. Yeah. How many times does the your system send the data? Is it periodically or yeah? How it will? What is it? How much data you send to the platform?
Oh, all right. Thank you, Mr. Danny.
Yes.
So for the data update or how much the data the system is sent by daily is we set for the soil moisture data to be updated by per hour basis, and for the water level is by conditional basis. So for the soil moisture is simple, we just set by hourly. So every hour the data will be updated and sent to the platform. But for the water level, because water level is a bit different part and different matter, we need to observe the water tank level at there. So we put a condition in the programming part, we put a condition statement to observe. Let's say that the water tank is below 50%, then the data will be pushed and a notification will be created through a Telegram or email.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, because I saw you send the data using REST API, right?
yes, I'm using the REST API method.
So have you ever compared with the MQTT maybe with the small data packet?
Yeah, so I did some experimenting about comparing the different messaging protocol between the REST API and MQTT. So by term of energy consumption, I would say the MQTT is much more energy friendly compared to HTTP or REST API style method. But for the HTTP REST API, the data packet for this progress is don't really matter actually. But for the future progress, we will simply switch to MQTT. But that will require me to study further how effective it would be for this simple solution.
So actually, you did it both, right?
Yep, I did both, but for the MQTT part, I did for the other projects, but those input or the data that I gather from MQTT style method, I have used it to make a comparison for this project also.
Okay, I see. Yeah, actually, I did some project too. I want to maybe later I want to share to with others also.
Cool.
So from your presentation, I saw that you make many smart farming or urban farming for outdoor, right?
Yep.
But have you do you have any experience for the indoor farming?
For the indoor one, I haven't yet, and I mostly getting exposed myself to the outdoor style farming at here.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah,
Just, Danny, you are also doing some urban farming project?
I still working now, but in my concern, in my project, concern is in communication system, not the. Actually, I work with UMN from Universitas Multimedia, right? MMU, sorry.
I see, MMU. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have joined research with them. I try to use the indoor growth LED for sending data.
The LED is the LED that is for the ultraviolet one, right?
Yeah, for indoor farming, we have to use the growing LED, right?
Okay.
So we except they just try to grow the plants. We also use it for sending the data. With some, maybe you have heard about visible light communication system.
I haven't heard yet so far. This is the first time I've heard about this one.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe we can compare later.
Cool. So happy to hear your sharing. If you are interested to share to the community, Danny.
Maybe not right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can do that.
It's still working.
Next time.
Later, maybe.
Okay. And there are some other questions. I will go to Chi Chen first, and then Edwin, and then Brian. So Chi Chen asked that, is the MCU device self-built, or how's the unit looks like in the hydro pot?
All right, so for the first progress of this project, I actually buy on the shelf ESP30, the development board, the ESP board on the shelf from the marketplace. But there is a plan to do a self-customized ESP itself. But for this moment, I haven't had any idea how to design or to have a proper design for the MCU. But by general terms is I would use the ESP module and simply just attach it within the board and just put some resistor at there and some sensor pin at there and just simply connecting it. But for this moment, I'm only using the on the shelf ESP controller at there. I hope that will answer your question.
Shichen, does that answer your question? You are thinking to design your own MCU device? Okay, then maybe you cannot speak through the microphone. Then let's go to Edwin. Edwin, you can directly turn on your microphone and ask.
Hi, everyone. Before I come to this ITO, I just want to ask about the first, I'm not sure first or second slide pertaining to the comparison between urban farming and traditional farming, right? We talk about the space usage, water usage, much more lesser. I just wonder whether we can provide some more data. I mean, how much more you can save in terms of space or water, maybe in percentage, you know?
Does it mean whereby the I mean the comparison of the vegetable production output, right? Between a small farm that can produce the same amount of vegetable as the large scale of farms, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, so at this moment, I haven't done any data gathering yet, but to answer your question, you might be able to find some of the data in the internet, but I'm pretty sure that traditional farming can produce much more or far more bigger the vegetable output compared to the current urban farming system. Maybe in the future we could see that urban farming able to compete in the vegetable output production. But in my general observation, I would say that traditional farming still can mass produce the vegetable compared to urban farm.
Okay, so right, thank you.
All right. I hope that will answer your questions.
Yep, thanks.
Okay, and a question from Brian, that how do you compare vertical farming under sunlight with the horticulture lighting?
Okay, I unable to answer for that question because I'm truly apologize for that question. I think there might be somebody else at here able to answer Mr. Brian's question because I haven't experienced for this kind of farming so far.
Brian, do you have some domain knowledge about these? You can share to us. We are interested to know.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking that most of us, I'm not sure that we have very deep domain knowledge for the agriculture. Okay, you can also feel free to share that to the Discord, so everyone can in the community can get the benefit. Okay, and Danny?
Oh no, sorry.
Okay. Okay, cool. And any questions to Ayman? And also maybe more general questions to urban farming? Just want to do a quick survey. Curious that how many of you guys are considering to do a urban farming project? Maybe you can raise your hand if you are considering to do an urban farming project. Okay, cool. 3. Four. Okay. Yeah, so maybe we can discuss about some prototype we can do together and learn together on this call. Since that is a quite trending.
Yeah, that will be a good idea, Mr. Vincent, about this. I think we can all working together and developing a solution for this urban farming.
I have a question to Ayman. So I just want to ask that, do you think the power consumption is an issue while you are doing this project?
The power consumption, I would say that it depends on situation, but based on my experience, because of my project is targeted for the individual that is busy with other commitment or have no time in doing the farming activities but want to own a little farm, I would say that the power consumption is a huge concern at there, because we will want a system that is require little to no maintenance by yearly. Because if we have a frequent maintenance to be done, it will fail the objective for this project, whereby we want a farming system that is sustainable for these targeted people, because we don't want those people who are busy right now need to pay attention to the maintenance matter. So we need to try to minimize the power consumption as minimal as possible. So there is no maintenance required for them to do so, and it's simply just to meet the objective of these projects.
Okay, that makes sense. By the way, I also think a lot of people are asking about data.
Yeah, okay.
We have some planning for, there is a following events called Tiny ML series. We will have some people from ARM, from semiconductor company to share their vision about the Tiny ML. So maybe we can try to learn something that we can do on the software and data perspective.
Yeah, sure. That will be a great idea for this part.
Okay. So any other final questions to Alma? Okay. If no, then I think.
I think. Oh yeah, no. I think there's one more question that I want to ask. Is this project currently open for any collaboration with the community?
All right. Thank you. I'm at this moment, I would say that we are not opening any collaboration yet, but in future there will be a collaboration to be happen. So I will keep you up to date from time to time once the project is ready to collaborate, because the reason is I made some sort of agreement that is happened with the PASARKITA companies, whereby the PASARKITA is the owner of this project or the main partner of this project. So I can't So I will try my best to open some of the part for the committee to collaborate for this matter. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think
All
this
right.
question is that we know that open source is very powerful. So if you have something need other community members help, maybe some other community members can also provide contribute to the project.
That will be helpful, and I will be looking forward for the future progress. And yeah, I'm thinking maybe next month we could open a collaboration with anyone. So,
All right, that's good. Yeah. So I think let's keep the discussion going on the Discord lah. If any help needed or any learning together, right?
yeah. All right, sounds good.
John, to you, do you have any question you want to ask? You can take the final one. Okay, maybe no. I think that's all about today's sharing. So, so I will final to ask everyone if you have any project on your hand and you want to hear from other developers and makers feedback. Feel free to like post your idea and project on the meeting. We are happy to hear about your project. So that's it. Thank you, all of you guys.
Okay, thank you. See you guys.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And thank you,
Bye.
Mr.
Thank
Paul,
you.
for hosting.
Oh,
Yeah.
always. Thanks. Bye. Have a good one.
All right. Have a good night, Mr. Paul.